Hi, this is Josh at Zinger PB, and today we'll be taking a closer look at the FlowTech RMac. So as you can see, this is the case it comes in. Nice semi-hard case with a neoprene cover. Nice little FlowTech logo on there. It's leather, faux leather, whatever. Not much else comes with it. Zipper, we'll open that up here. Okay, so little tiny barrel bag. Two-piece barrel. It is autococker threaded, so you can pretty much put whatever you want on it. This barrel, it does not come stamped with a size, but it is very large in my experience. It is got to be close to, if I had to guess, I would say it's close to 690, 691. It's very large, but you know, it's a nice barrel, nice color, matches the gun well. Okay, nice and gloss. Set that off to the side. It does have 4 loops in the case, so if you do want to put a different barrel back system in or freak in a couple inserts, totally works. Divider flips over. You got your information card. Not a ton going on here, just some basic how to get started, how to adjust the regulator, and then your standard safety precautions and warnings and all that stuff that they did. So that's nice to have. They do send a full toolkit, so you do get all the correct Allen keys, which is nice. You do get a full rebuild kit, as well as a spare breech insert, eye pipe, detent pipe, whatever you want to call it, as you can see here. So there you go. So the detents are actually part of the eye pipe here, as you can hopefully see with my finger. Yeah, they are just built into the detent pipe there. So these come in a nice bag. The marker itself comes in a nice soft, call it satin or poly bag. Has the RMac logo on there. Double drawstring. So you can use this to keep the marker in like I do, or you can throw a spare lens in there, or just use it for whatever. And that's really it for the case. And here's the marker itself. As you can see, I got the gray with black accents. Right now it seems like they only offer black on black, gray on black, or black on gray. So this is the gray with black accents. Okay, we'll get all this out of the way. Alright, so the marker itself, fully mechanical, gas through grip. The foregrip really doesn't do anything. You can actually completely remove the foregrip, so that's just the first thing we're going to do. I have played with this several days already, so it works. Everything's worked great. I haven't really had any issues with it at all. Gun is super light. Everybody I've handed it off to really loves the trigger, really loves the trigger pull, loves the feel and the balance of it. It's actually a pretty well built marker, all things considered. Let's see, we got everything here. Foregrip is secured by two bolts, but it's completely removable, as you can see. This foregrip, 2 bolts there, is nothing but a poly shell. I just have some grip tape on there because I like a little bit more grip than just the plastic, but it's just a poly shell, as you can see in there, hopefully. Yeah, so there's not much to it. Super light, just for your hand. So in the future, I'm sure maybe somebody will be might 3D print or machine some nicer foregrips, different ergonomics. If this is too small for you, I have shorter hands, so this is perfect for me. But compared to some of the other grips out there on the market, this is a little skinny. So if you want something chonkier, you might be able to get that. All right, looking in here, so as you can see, so all of this is, we'll take a closer look at what this correlates to, but this is just a screw for the pin that aligns the breech insert. So that way you never have to worry about your breech insert being off center and not being able to feed. That's all that does. Let's take a closer look on the underside of the body here. So here's the safety. Let's see here. So back is off. Now the gun is in the on position, or in the unsafe position, so back is safe. Now the interesting thing about this safety is, and you'll be able to see this later, is that when the gun is aired up and the safety is on, so in the back position like it is now, you can still pull the trigger and the solenoid system will actuate. As far as I can tell, all the safety does is stop the spool from actually actuating, from sliding back and forth. So pretty interesting little system there. Grips are rubber. Nice soft tacky rubber. They are thin. The gun as a whole is pretty thin, and they are pretty flexible. But again, it's not electronics, so you don't have to worry about water or anything getting inside of there and ruining a board or a battery or anything like that. Trigger is two-way adjustable. There is a adjustment down on the bottom, or up, sorry, not the bottom, but up in the frame to adjust. It is pre-travel and also a little bit of return strength. And then you also have your activation point in the trigger itself. Okay, so let's take the grips off real quick. So the RMac does utilize a regulator in the grip frame housing itself. As we will see, it's actually adjusted through the front. Okay, set these off to the side. Okay, so not a ton to see here. So this is your trigger valve system. Here's your gas pipe, and the regulator is actually internal, machined into the frame. Your adjustment is actually there, and actually is a hole through the grip where you can actually get at the adjustment screw. It is what I would call a backwards adjustment, so clockwise or turning in is turning the velocity down, turning out is turning the velocity up. So to each their own. To me that is backwards, but that's just the way it is. So now let's take a closer look at the on-off assembly. So here's the on-off. Here's the first rub. The on-off is actually a click button system, and I'll show this when we gas up the marker. So this side is off, this side is on. Now the on does not actually engage unless there's pressure on the pin. So if you put pressure on the pin, the on engages, and see how that button stays in versus when you push it off, the button comes back out. On, off. All right. Playing 3 nights or 3 days with this, 3 hours each, multiple games. I have accidentally shut the gas off once. So it's not a huge risk, but it is something there where if you just, doesn't take a lot of force to turn that gas off. And the hard part is when a tank is installed on the marker, it does take quite a lot of force to actually turn the air on. So that is a potential issue. One last thing before we delve into the internals. So the feed neck, right? So as you can see, so this, unfortunately, is the stock feed neck. Come on, focus, you. Okay. So stock feed neck comes with a thumb screw, no lever. All right. Kind of a deal breaker. Not, I mean, it's one of those small things, but again, it's just a small thing. For a $750 marker retail, no lever feed neck, that kind of sucks. Thumb screws, at least it's adjustable. The nice thing is it does appear to be Empire spec or Inception Design spec, whatever you want to call it. So I did actually, this is an Inception Design feed neck that I had for a different project that I just threw on here so I could play with it. And these are excellent because, yeah, Simon makes excellent stuff. Don't expect anything less from that, so perfect. Okay, so again, just another one of those things that's kind of a deal breaker for me, or not so great. Okay, let's get into the meat of this thing. Let's take the grip frame off here. So front screw is non-captive. The back screw is actually captive, if you can see that there. So it actually is recessed and captive into the frame, which is interesting. It's definitely a choice. Definitely, in my opinion, makes it a little bit hard to get at and get unscrewed. I'm not a huge fan of captive grip frame screws, but it does make it feel nice on the hand when you're holding it, because you don't have a screw head digging into your thumb, digging into your hand, etc., etc. So that's, again, just one of those personal choice things. Okay, so now that we've got that off, pull that out, pull this guy off. Okay, now we can get a closer look. So here we can see there are some, come on, focus. There are some very small O-rings here at the top of the trigger valve, trigger solenoid, whatever you want to call it, mechanical. Again, this is fully mechanical. So that's where all of the quote-unquote magic happens. Okay, I'll actually set this whole assembly off to the side here. And here is the bottom manifold. So here's your safety. So this will actually spin all over the place. There's just a little ball, there's a little ball detent there, ball style detent that actually that gives you two positions of unsafe and safe. I'm not going to take this off today, but I just wanted to show you guys what the underside of this looks like. And now we get into the part that everybody wants to see, I'm sure, is the bolt system. So a nice little quick disconnect, flip up. There is a nub, I guess you could call it, that holds the whole boat drive in place. Two nice machined triangles here, so you can grip it and pull. Slides right out, slides real easily. I will say though, the quality of the machining is, the finish machining on that part is not great. There's like toolpath marks, really bad. Maybe I'll try to get a better picture of that. But just everything else on the marker is extremely well finished. It's almost like they just decided not to run a finishing mill on it. It is what it is. Okay, so the whole bolt train slides out. As you can see, we've got the detent pipe, eye pipe. It just pops off. It's just 3 little clips that hold it in place. Nothing too fancy there. Okay, let's set the body off to the side here. Alright, now we've got the bolt train. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's very similar to the Machine Vapor bolt train. Quit Talking Paintball actually has an excellent video on the Vapor and how the bolt train works, so I'm going to link his video in the description and let him explain it, because he's way better at it than I am. But I will take it apart here, just so you can kind of see how everything comes apart. The marker did come very well lubricated. Plenty of, I won't say plenty of lube, but enough visible lubricant when I took it apart upon receiving it, that I had no concerns about it overall. Okay, so I'll take this front part off here. So here's the front part, and the bolt actually just comes out the back. Okay, so you got your sail firing. Okay, so that's all there. This is fine in here. There's one internal O-ring inside here. You've got 2 O-rings on the external side. Some threads. Okay, you've got the O-ring at the tip of the bolt. You got an O-ring here on the sail, and you got an O-ring that appears to act just as a bumper on the back here. Okay, so we've got the volume area here. This unscrews just like so. Okay, you got, there is an O-ring internal inside here. O-ring on the threads to seal. O-ring seals to the body, and then O-ring on the back to seal. Okay, this guy here comes out as well. Okay, So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 O-rings on the center part here. So this would be your air transfer tube, air transfer pipe, whatever you want to call it. Okay, there is 2 O-rings on this back body here. This does not come off. This appears to be machined all in one piece. And then there's a bolt that holds the detent system on for the bolt latch, for the body latch. Okay. Not much else is going on there. So yeah, that's about it. Pretty easy to take apart, pretty easy to get in and lubricate as if you need to. Overall, not a terribly designed system. It is a platform that works. The machine vapor works. It cycles. The shot is super soft. Trigger pull is super light. It's fast. I haven't had any chopping issues. It's fairly soft on paint. Efficiency is a little on the lower side right now, but hopefully things will change as stuff gets broken in. I'm going to continue to be running some efficiency tests on it after we go through a few cases with it. So yeah, so far I'm happy with the gun. I'm not necessarily happy with the value, but it's certainly something interesting. After this, I'll have a quick air up and dry firing video, and then following that will be, if you want, there will be a card and a link to some barrel cam footage of me playing indoors with it. That was actually with an AccuLock barrel, because our winter paint here is really small, and it was just not doing well with the very large barrel that comes with the FlowMac. Yeah. Okay, so we are still currently off, as you can see, the off position. So to turn this on, it takes quite a bit of force, but now we're on. We are in the safe position on the safety, so I can show you here what that actually sounds like. So as you can hear, the trigger manifold or trigger valve is cycling, pulse valve, but the bolt is not actually actuating forward. Okay, so now if we slide the safety forward, okay. But the trigger pull is the same. I have the trigger adjusted pretty tight. Put it back in safe mode so it's a little quieter. But let's see if you can see this well. I mean, there's not much pull there, and that's about all. It's about all it takes when the safety is off as well. Not a lot of force. One thing that you will notice, this is common with some other markers as well, including the machine vapor, is the solenoid or the trigger valve does actually dump air through the grip, so the grips will breathe, right? So as your hand is on it, you can actually feel air coming out of the grip. Doesn't bother me, might bother some people, but it's just one of those things.